My downloads folder used to be an absolute mess until D5 brought out version 3.1. Now it's an entirely new workflow. If you want your workflow to be completely unbroken, then follow along. Now the concept here is following a simple workflow. We're taking an idea, we're visualizing it, and we're presenting it. That's how this video is going to be structured. So generally in a project, we might be starting it in SketchUp, which historically D5 Lite as a standalone plugin was perfect. Either go to straight D5 Render or D5 Lite. Now with 3.1, it's also available for Revit and Rhino. And if you're wondering how D5 Lite fits into our workflow, well, there's an AI mode and there's a render mode. So in render mode, and it's basically a lightweight D5. But for the purpose of this, I want to really talk about the AI mode because that's how it fits into my workflow here today. So first of all, let's set up our camera scene. It's automatically added some grass 3D texture straight away from D5, giving us some beautiful shadows and enhanced our project. So if we look back at SketchUp, that's what our model looked like a second ago. D5, it looks like this. If we switch back to AI mode, it's pulling that image direct from our D5 scene, which is awesome in itself. Next, to enhance our workflow, we're looking for ideas here. We're looking for inspiration into our render. So down the bottom, let's just go into choose a style, architecture, residential, and we'll click on villa. After that, we have the ability to increase our slider to accurate or creative. I want to be a bit more creative and see what it can pull up. Now, if we want to add a reference image, we can. That's easy to do. If we want to add a prompt, we can, which I'll get to in a bit. And then we can just manipulate our output settings. But as a bare basic example of how this works at the very start of your workflow, you hit generate, it's going to provide you with 4 images straight away. And there we go, 4 base images to start thinking about how we're going to render this scene. There's a couple here that are really, really nice. The top left-hand one puts it into a suburban street, footpaths, landscaping, and everything that we'd expect to see. The bottom one gives you a generic street, takes away the footpath and interaction, and keeps the scene a lot more like it should be. Similarly, so does the bottom right-hand one, but it puts it more into a mountainous terrain. In fact, that's probably what the project will look like more so than the suburban streets with 2 streets beside it. And then it just does, a bit of a dodgy job up the top, but it's trying to be creative. It's trying to give you some ideas, which is what the whole purpose of this part of the workflow is. So next, let's just take this image, click on it once, and then we can go to that text prompt. We can type something in like ocean in the background, Porsche 911 in the drive, firm, and hit iterate. Once again, it'll create 4 more images for us to use ideas from. Exactly as I've asked for, ocean in the background, Porsche 911 in the driveway, and then it's given us this really awesome scene on the right hand side. Nothing to do with the project itself, but I really like that scene. And full disclosure, this is actually my house under construction, my project. So I wish it looked like this in the bottom right. It doesn't. It's definitely not this close to the ocean, but there's some glimpses. Either way, this is where we pivot. This is where we take one of these iterations and we start pulling information from this. Now we can download this for future use in the bottom right-hand corner. And like I said, this is now where we pivot. So we're either choosing to go back to render mode into D5 Lite and create everything that we want to in D5 Lite, which, like I said, is a standalone product. But because I'm a D5 render user, I'm going to switch over from Lite into the full-blown D5 suite to show you some incredible stuff that comes with 3.1 and how it betters my workflow every day. Now, here's the first look of houses on hair in D5 render, and we're in version 3.1, of course. This, like I said, is my personal house. So I've spent a lot of time on this model right here, right now. I want to walk you through some incredible features that made it super easy to get to this point. One of the first elements I used at a very, very early point before I went and masked out every single element was actually the AI agent, and they're just creating a standard garden. Now, for me, I just went minimal floral all the time, put in my details, let it generate a list, auto scatter, and then I just dragged it into some key areas. And what you'll notice is it will take a couple seconds to generate, and then it'll populate this entire front garden with a beautiful arrangement of plants. If you don't have those plants already updated, it's going to prompt you to update them all. So you just hit update and let it do its thing, and it quickly populates a beautiful garden. Now, as you can see, as a starting point, that's an incredible arrangement. So that's my scatter 3 and my scatter 2. So let's just turn those off and compare it to the garden I created. It's not too dissimilar at all. I just replaced some frangipanies and some more select trees. So as a starting point, that AI agent is awesome. After that, we might decide we need a street tree as well, because, planning regulations require us to have one. And unfortunately, sometimes we have to have them. So we might put a street tree here in the middle on our verge. With 3.1, we can make our renders a little bit more seasonal, and that generally means adjusting our plants. So on the right hand side in environment, all the way down the bottom, seasonal vegetation, one click, you'll see the deciduous plants like that tree slowly either regenerate, grow, go into their fall colors, or their winter bare bone sticks. So depending on what kind of scene you're trying to create, then you can just adjust your seasonal vegetation down the bottom here. One of the new features in 3.1 that I also found really useful was under model, down the bottom you'll see measurement, and we got a new measurement line. Now this measurement line is incredibly powerful because it gives you a sense of scale without you having to go back into your modeling program to figure it out. So if I fly in, I know I've got 2.801 millimeters or 2.8 meters if you want to convert to a different measurement underneath the soffit of that cantilevering first floor. Similarly, if I go into my staircases and I need to actually know how wide this staircase is between wall to glass, hit OK. You can see I've got just shy of 900 mil between plaster and glass. Now that glass thickness is relatively accurate to at least what we think it's going to be on site, so I can know comfortably that staircase is 900 wide. Now let's say instead of this exposed aggregate driveway, we're going to have a cobblestone driveway. Download a couple of these just to test them out. You'll see in version 3, we had a great update. It allowed us to take a 2D texture, go into our height marker and turn true displacement on. What that does is give you a genuine 3D view of a 2D texture that you can increase and decrease. And with 3.1, we have height field tracing, which allows us to increase it vertically up and down to give us precision control. That's unlike anything you've ever seen on any other rendering software, and it's available inside D5 Render for all users in version 3.1. This was recently launched. It's not brand new in version 3.1, but if we go up the top, you'll see more in D5 Works. So let's just go to Vehicles, small sized. Then you go more in D5 Works, and you can search things like Porsche. And you'll see the Porsche I've used here in the middle, and you'll see a whole bunch of other Porsches available as well. So that just says sports car. So again, I don't know which Porsche it is, but that's the one available. If you're looking for something completely different, let's go furniture, sofa, filters, and we just go free because, there's a ton of options here. Maybe you like this chair. You just simply hit download, click on it once, click on it in your D5 project, and it automatically drops it into your D5 project. You don't actually have to go online, go through a ton of different resources and websites, trying to find the perfect OBJ to see if the materials are going to line up. If they're not, these come in perfect every single time, and it's just such an incredibly easy to use feature. One thing to note, if you are a creator and you're doing some incredible furniture like this and you're making beautiful pieces, you can actually upload it to D5 Works and get 100% of your royalties back to you. There's no commission on D5 Works. Now, if we jump back into my living room, maybe I like this modular sofa more than the one I've created. So we can download that modular sofa, click it once, click it into our project, and see how it looks. Now, that might be a little bit too large, but it also works generally okay for the space. I'll just reuse my material from that one, drag it over, hide my throw pillows, hide my couch in the background, mirrored flipped back in action, and now we have a sofa that looks really nice in our space that we didn't have to go out and hunt for on a bunch of random dodgy websites. So that's one awesome feature. But what I will note is the sofa I actually used in this entire project, let's go back to my scene one, is completely AI generated. So up the top, assets, model generation, image to 3D, find a sofa that you like online, something that hopefully has a few different pictures that you can grab and use in the AI. So let's just take a few of these images. Generally, I like to have at least 3. So I start with my main image at the front, then I go multiple angle views and I upload a couple more. We give it a name, call it what it actually is so you can find it later, and hit generate. You see it's created our couch. All we have to do is click download and then use it like any other object. Click once and drop it into our project. I want to show you one of my absolutely favorite features of 3.1, and this is an actual game changer for your workflow. So we'll take this kitchen scene, right? We deliberated for very long and hard about the colors and the theme of this project. What was the stone color? What was the timber color? What was everything? And to go through one by one materials, assets, find the right one, drag and drop, takes a long time. Presenter mode, change that. So up the top, you'll see this new button called presentation. So you hit that button and you'll see I've already set up a couple different things. So let's just go to kitchen, and there's a few new dots that appear. Now in this scene, I can click the dots and it automatically changes that texture for everything. So all of a sudden my cupboards go from white to wood and back by just clicking one little button, and I can get that instant visual feedback of what I want this kitchen to be like. We deliberated this exact scenario for so long, thinking that maybe white was the right or safe choice, or maybe wood was the right and safe choice. We landed on wood, thankfully. Now additionally, in this presentation mode, you can click this little play presentation button and it will go full screen so that you can actually showcase it to a client without showing them all of the D5 UI. They can obviously click on the little buttons themselves and change textures and materials like we did a moment ago, but they can also just toggle through different slides to give them different views and then continue to iterate those same variations to understand their choices better. Now, what we can do live in front of you here and what we can do in our own time, really taking this presentation tool to the absolute maximum, are two vastly different things. So here are a couple different examples of what you can genuinely achieve with this presentation tool. You can change all sorts of things, from chairs to furniture to view angles to backgrounds. Anything you can imagine, you can do it with the presentation tool, and it's extremely powerful. Anyway, that's all for me, team. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you smash that subscribe button down below, and like always, I will see you next week.